Whew. Okay. Let's see what we got for today. Better to be attacked than ignored. Burning more brightly than those around you is a skill that no one is born with. You have to learn to attract attention. Quote, as surely as the lodestone attracts iron. At the start of your career, you must attach your name and reputation to a quality, an image, that sets you apart from other people. This image can be something like a characteristic style of dress or a personality quirk that amuses people and gets talked about. Once the image is established, you have an appearance, a place in the sky for your star. It is a common mistake to imagine that this peculiar appearance of yours should not be controversial, that to be attacked is somehow bad. Nothing could be further from the truth. To avoid being a flash in the pan and having your notoriety eclipsed by another, you must not discriminate between different types of attention. In the end, every kind will work in your favor. Society craves larger than life figures, people who stand above the general mediocrity. Never be afraid, then, of the qualities that set you apart and draw attention to you. Court controversy, even scandal. It is better to be attacked, even slandered, than ignored. All professions are ruled by this law, and all professionals must have a bit of a showman about them. Daily law. Make no distinction between kinds of attention. Notoriety of any sort will bring you power. Better to be slandered and attacked than ignored. It's from the 48 Laws of Power. Court attention at all costs. Guess that makes a little sense. I mean, that's like the whole ethos of like celebrity gossip. Better to be talked about than not talked about. That makes sense. I guess it doesn't matter what they're talking about as long as they're talking. So I guess in that regard, my wild tinfoil hat talk is not so bad. Even if people think I'm crazy, at least they're thinking about me. A little chilly. My goodness. So I had a fantastic day yesterday with the doggies. They were a lot of fun. It's always a good day there. The dogs make all the difference. A little tired. Let's see what this one says. If this one has any interesting tidbits. I can't read in this light. Let me see, hold on. Alright, how about this one? This paragraph has the title Sever the Roots. In a society dominated by appearance, The real source of a problem is sometimes hard to grasp. To work out a grand strategy against an enemy, you have to know what motivates him or is the source of his power. Too many wars and battles drag on because neither side know how to strike at the other's roots. As a grand strategist, you must expand your vision, not only far and wide, but under. Think hard, dig deep. Do not take appearances for reality. Uncover the roots of the trouble, and you can strategize to sever them, ending the war or problem with finality. I like that one. I like that one. Sever the roots. Take away the root. It cannot grow. All right. Hit the road. Yeah, my mind is pretty blank this morning, so I have no idea how this video is going to turn out. Still waking up. Speaking of, a bit of my friend. That's good. I should put a little bit of the tangerine juice in with my energy drink, and it is fantastic. Oh, I gotta throw this light bulb away. That didn't work. Better to be talked about than ignored. I mean, that's really that's everything when it comes to news of any kind, gossip, or it's like that's why I don't, that's funny. That kind of falls in line with the quote I had been in my mind for the last couple of days. What is it? Darn it. It's Eleanor Roosevelt. She said, darn it, it's like a 3-phrase quote. Something like, great minds discuss people. Darn it. Average minds discuss events. Now, what is it? Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. Something like that. Which is why I really don't indulge in gossip drama. I have zero interest in that. That's why I like the books that I read. I like the ideas in them. I don't want to be egotistical and say I have a great mind, but I know I don't have. I have a slightly. If I was trying to be honest and genuine, I would hope to say, or I would say that I hope I have a slightly better than average mind. Even though it took quite an event to attain that. I don't really talk about people at all. I don't keep up with things that are happening with people. And I am events. I don't really like things that have happened. I'm rarely keeping up with them, only because of the podcast I listen to. They talk about all that. And only to have something to talk about do I ever engage in, what's going on with, geopolitics and the conflict over there with Iran and all that stuff. And I like the books that I read because it's nothing but ideas. And I love that I was able to take one of my most important books that I read and blend that with one of the most meaningful, how would I say that, endeavors that I could want to take part in, which is was my dog training business, which looks like I'm going to have to take seriously now that I've come up with this training plan. I'm going to have to do something with it. Can't just come up with it and not do something. I think what I came up with is pretty darn good, and even my woman seemed to have liked it, which I really, really am happy about, because her opinion means a lot to me. And I was reading her all there's a whole section throughout like the 7-day course. I built a 7-day course, and then I condensed that down into a 1-day crash course. And on the 7-day course for each day, there's like a whole section called like leadership wisdom, something like that. So I read her each one of those for the 7 days. As I'm reading, I can hear her she's saying that's everything we teach. It's everything that we teach. In my mind, I'm like, yes, oh God, she likes it. She likes it. That means I nailed it. She's brutally honest, and if she didn't like it, she would have told me. So the fact that she approved of it, I was like, okay, this came together quite well. To get that kind of response from her, to elicit that out of her, it nailed it. Okay, so now I have to delve into business marketing. Maybe first I should really I have to get this. What I need to do is, because right now this thing's in my phone. It's a PDF file. I need to get a physical copy in my hand and out of my phone. I don't want to be holding my phone. And I need to read this thing over and over again so I can be able to, because I know it all, really, but I don't want to have to reference it. So maybe I'll have, if I can, I'll make like a bullet point list just to glance at and reference. Because really what I'll be doing is using this as like, the leadership wisdom part is how I would start the orientation off for the day, really. But what this really is all about is leash training and socialization. Because those really are the two main things that you really have to address when it comes to being a dog owner. Everything else, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Well, I guess I would say leash training, socialization, and relationship building. Because whether or not you realize it, having a dog in your life is like having a person in your life, like a significant other. You have to look at your dog, I think, as being like as important as your significant other. However that phrase it means to you, that's what that dog should be. It's not just a thing you have. It's like a life form that you've taken into your life. You're making it a part of your life. It's not just like an object. If you treat it like that, you're not going to have. I mean, imagine treating like your wife or your girlfriend that way, or your husband or your boyfriend. That's just, that relationship is, no, somebody's big ass teddy bears and on the freeway. How sad. But yeah, if you treated your significant other that way, like just a thing, and not something cherished and special, that relationship's not going to last very long, or it's going to suffer. Or you won't get the most out of it that you could have. And I think the same goes for how people view their love. No, I wouldn't say most, or even a lot. Some people are missing out on the potential that a relationship with a dog can yield. And funny enough, in this day and age where like depopulation is a strategic goal for the globe, then having a dog is the next best thing. And I think a lot of people are, how would I say that? They're not so good with people to the point. What do they say? I've heard some sort of weird statistic where a lot of these younger generations are having an issue with long-term relationships because their social skills have been diminished because they're not getting out into the world and like mingling with other humans. Like every interaction is so virtual through a device, or everybody's become very disconnected, so they're having a hard time connecting with each other. And that's eventually going to have an impact on mating trends. So if you want to get, your tinfoil hat out, that was all part of the strategy to get people to reproduce less. Since that's not happening, and since people aren't having any kind of intimate relationship, and I don't mean intimate like physical, just, that intimate, emotional, deep connection. I mean, to be honest, you can have that with a dog. You really can. Now, if you really cultivate that, really take the training of your dog seriously, they'll look to you exactly like the follower looks to its leader in any kind of dynamic. And I think I'm very fortunate to have fallen into dog training and canine behavior, and the joy that I found in my interest for dogs has been significant, and it's had a very meaningful impact on me. So I would imagine anybody who discovers that will have the same experience. I mean, I literally tell people if it wasn't for dogs, I wouldn't be who I am today. That's a huge statement to make. A lot of people don't understand it until I start explaining it, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, I get it. That makes sense." But yeah, now I really have to start to like crystallize in my mind, and it's a good thing because I used to at one of the rescues I was at, I used to give volunteer orientation, so I'm already acclimated to talking in front of a big group, and I'm not shy. As long as I have the material down, I could talk forever. I just haven't done this in a while, and I have to get down exactly what I. Really, it's only 7 pages worth of stuff. If I can figure out a way to print out 7 pages. Oh, let me get over. Or maybe not. I can stay here. You guys go around me. Perfect. All right. Yeah. And really, I do appreciate that what was instilled into my mind was the idea of training people about dogs. And that's why I kind of geared this towards, people who aren't as experienced with dogs or are first-time dog owners. And really, from the encounters I have with people and their dogs as I'm walking, me and my woman walk our dog, everybody's leash handling is just terrible. Not terrible, just there's so much room for improvement. Especially when it comes to walking right up to somebody else with their dog. And it's such a simple, simple fixes. It's just cultivating the habit of not letting your dog just walk up to somebody else's dog. And our dog's a tiny little thing. But they don't know. They don't know what kind of reaction our dog's going to have. And our dog won't react. Our dog will just avoid. He gets curious every now and then because his eyesight's not the best. But every once in a while he'll get curious. But for the most part, he'll avoid. Because he just sees something bigger, because most dogs are bigger, coming at him. And most dog owners just allow their dog to be out front, leading the way. And that's the whole idea behind I lead my pack. Because that's your position. You're allowing your dog to have your position. And a whole section of my training course is about walking in heel position. So you're going to have to become the leader. And in order to do that, you have to attain that leadership mentality. And I'm a big believer in that. Ooh, it's cold out here. You can always feel the temperature change right around here. Interesting. Let me see. Wonder if there's any kind of way I can turn this PDF into an audio file. I know there is. I'll have to look that up. So I can listen to it at work. I mean, I'm already listening to a bunch of stuff at work. Might as well listen to this over and over again. Just pound it into my brain. I know what I'm going to do. I need to construct a page explaining in detail not just how to walk a dog in heel, but the significance and the relational importance of that dynamic. Okay. All right. So my training guide isn't finished. It's still a work in progress. I just realized I have to insert some more explanational pages to it, but using like metaphor to do it. Metaphor and analogy are powerful tools to explain ideas in a way that crystallize better in the mind. Because it's not good enough just to tell somebody to do something. It's important to explain why they should be doing it. So that's what I'll do. Alright, and I should probably do that for each section. Or let me just go over it first and see. But especially for the walking section, because the walking section of my guide is separate from the seven principles that I've put together. But I think I did pretty well. This whole course on paper is like 26 pages long. 26? 27. No, 26, I think. It was up to 30 something, but I made some adjustments and slimmed it down a bit. But I think that's pretty impressive. It's pretty in-depth. The training course I went to, I think, was less than that. And a lot of it was just visual aid. Mine has very little visual aid. Because in my mind, the visual aid has to be live. What I'm teaching has to be seen live in action. IRL, as they say. Yeah, live demonstrations are always more impactful than like graphs or pictures. You need to see what's happening, because then you get to see how the dog reacts as you try to get them to sit in that pocket of heel position. Yeah, this is going to be fun once it gets going. I used to have a lot of fun doing those volunteer orientations, taking them out on a pack walk. It would start off like in the facility, And I would explain about the rescue, and I was actually, yeah, it was nerve wracking the first time I did it. Well, actually, the anticipation up to the point where it actually began. But once I opened my mouth, and started talking, it just felt relaxed. And I'm not shy when it comes to talking to new people. So this should be okay. I just haven't done this in a while. Woo, it is chilly. I can feel it. Almost there. Nice relaxed drive this morning. Had a bunch of dreams last night. Don't remember any of them. It's really weird how they feel though, because it doesn't even feel like it feels like part of my mind knows I'm dreaming, or it's like I'm consciously aware of the fact that I'm laying in bed, but I'm still having like this dream go on in my head. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's like two things are happening at once. It's very strange. I wonder if anybody else gets that sensation. Because it's not always like that. Sometimes that's just 100% in the dream. Like the dream feels real. I think that it's happening. And then maybe my alarm will wake me up like, oh man, I just woke up from a dream. But this morning it was like I was dreaming, but only like 50% of my attention was on the dream. Because I had just gotten up not too much earlier to use the restroom real quick. Then I came and laid back down, knowing that my alarm was probably going to go off pretty soon, because that's kind of how my internal clock works. So I laid back down, started dreaming again, but it was like only 100% focused in. I almost want to visualize it like, if I had to describe it, it's like seeing through a screen door. And like the screen door is the dream, but you can see through it to the other side. And the other side of the screen door would be me knowing I'm just laying in bed. It's kind of the best analogy I could come up with at the moment. Action. All right, here I am. Okay. And boop. All right. I have arrived. Okay. Everybody have a great day. I guess. Just have a great day.